It's episode 712.
Nope.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's episode
was like,
244 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Josh Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
Sorry, I just came from a portal, a time portal, a vortex to the future, where we had just gotten done recording episode 712. It's a dark future.
Was I any skinnier?
Yeah, you looked like Esqueleto from Nacho Libre.
Ooh.
And you were eating corn as sensually as he did.
Okay.
What a deep cut.
Yeah, really.
I haven't seen that movie since I was in middle school.
I haven't
That's
either.
an amazing movie.
I only really remember, like, the part where they're like, Ramses is number one. His eyes are number one. His muscles are number one. That's all I really remember from that movie.
I remember when he, one of my most often quoted lines from that movie is, "I'm concerned for your salvation and stuff." Like, we used to say that all the time. When somebody would do something suspect or whatever, we would say that. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie. Jack Black, good actor, good singer, good musician, like just generally all around good dude. From what I know, at least. But
agreed.
Seems that way.
Yeah. This is a show about nerds and game culture.
Nerds.
So
Specific ones. We call them out every week.
This
there.
This is a show about nerds and game vultures.
Yeah. Let me tell you about those vultures. They're getting more aggressive.
They're getting bolder. They're getting bolder. Each day they encroach further upon our lands.
They're carving out more territory as we speak.
Yes.
We must stop them.
We can't stop them. A dark message back from the future, like Terminator. We can't stop the vultures. They've taken over everything. Yeah. But anyways, man, what a... I'm completely sapped of all my strength. And
I can tell.
And part of that... And
do you just want me to run the show?
Part of me wants to do that. Part of me wants to see where it goes if I just keep meandering about. I'm game for either way. Part of the reason why I am tired is because I was up very late last night. Because I went to my first stage play in
a long time.
An extremely long time. And if we don't count stage musicals as the same thing as stage plays, it's been an obscenely long time since I've seen.
They are not the same thing.
They're not the same, but yeah.
Yeah, so I saw Something Star, and I saw How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
I was in that.
It's good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
That was Burt Bratt.
Which guy is that? Is he like the boss's assistant?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw Clue at the local Houston theater. There's a couple of theaters around. There's like the Theater Under the Stars, which is like kind of the big one, but this was like at a smaller venue. Not super intimate. Like there were still like a lot of people there, like hundreds and hundreds of people there, but maybe thousands, I don't know. But man, it was freaking dope. It was so good. I had an absolute blast. I actually got to go out and eat at a new Thai restaurant beforehand, which was awesome. I'd never been there before, but the food was freaking great. They had like really good pad see ew and pad ki mao, which are like two great Thai dishes that I like. And then we just went, sat in the theater. It was freaking fantastic. Like it was. I would say that I don't know why I don't go to more plays, but I do know, and it's because I don't keep track of what's actually playing in the local theater and stuff like that. But
right,
well, you didn't leave your house for 2 years.
That, yeah. But even before, like if I was going to leave, like it would like the hierarchy of things would be like I'm going to see a movie, then after that, I'm gonna go see a band. Then like way down the list is like theater.
Yeah.
So it just didn't get other things took up the oxygen in the room. But I'm really glad that I went. It was extremely cleverly written. It was very well acted. They did the flames on the side of my face, and the lady who was playing Mrs. White was fantastic, and the guy who played Wadsworth was fantastic. Like everybody was great in it, and it was very, very good. They also took like a lot of liberties with it, which I wasn't expecting necessarily. But I guess anybody who writes for something, like they want to like put their own stamp on it. There were like some really good moments where they had like in jokes for the board game, which I thought was really good. But I also haven't seen like the Tim Curry film in a really long time. So I don't really remember how much of what they did was in that movie.
That movie still holds up. But it is different from the stage play. Like the movie has like all the, I mean, spoilers for Clue if you've never seen it, it's from like, the 70s or 80s or whatever. But that has like the multiple endings in it and everything like that.
They did that in the stage play.
Oh, did they?
Yes,
okay.
And it was awesome.
I've seen productions of it where they don't.
And they did like meta jokes about it, like every time, because in the movie they just like they rewind and then it's a different cut, but in this one everybody acts out the rewinds.
Yeah.
In the stage play, and it was funny because each time a character would say, "Wait a second, that's not what happened," and then they would all rewind. And as they kept going, people started like phoning in their rewind like kind of actions. And it became funnier and funnier as they just like somebody just like laid down on the ground, like, and just was like, "I'm over all of this." And then one person just like didn't do anything and was just like, and one of the other actors called out and was like, "Wait a second, I did it for you. Come on." Like, and it's just, it was so much clever banter in between them. There was a lot of breaking the fourth wall. Somebody spit a bullet into the crowd after like catching it with their teeth. It was wild. It was wild. And there was one point where somebody was like making their way through looking at supposedly a map of the mansion, but it was just the board game. So they were like following that through. It was awesome. It was awesome. There was a lot of like little nods to stuff. I don't need to talk about it anymore, but like that was, I'm getting too granular with this, but I'm very tired. So that's the reason why it's happening.
Waiting for Brian to come back next week and be like, "The theater."
The theater.
Yeah, it's like a cigar on a stick,
yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah, cigarette on a stick.
Nothing can match the theater.
Now, yeah,
Audrey did take some of those freaking little binoculars on a stick.
Oh yeah.
Which was very silly. From what I understand, they didn't really work that well, but we were also fairly close, so
yeah, we
didn't really need it. But that was a lot of fun.
Support local theater. Any chance you get.
Yeah.
There's probably more local, at least in our area, there's more local theater places than many of you probably realize. They're not all great, but when you find a good one, it's worth, supporting them for sure.
Yeah, and as we were leaving, we saw like 8 different things. Like there was a Sherlock Holmes thing that was coming up. There was like some comedy that's supposed to be pretty funny that they're doing. So I don't know. We may do more of that. It wasn't that expensive, so it's pretty interesting. But yeah, the
theater.
I miss it.
Well, you can go back now.
I could. They're doing a production of Rent. A friend of ours is doing it.
Okay, you could wait then.
I've already been in Rent. But I was like, I don't know that I need to be in that show again. I was in that show at a very like specific like a very specific time in my life where it hit right. Like everything was very promiscuous, like everyone was just, if you were single, you were hooking up with people in the cast. It was great. I wasn't single. I wasn't hooking up with anybody, but everybody else seemed like they were having a great time. I lived vicariously through them.
You're like, somebody's like, yeah, and you're like tight.
I was just in the corner smoking a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch.
They like that meme. Nobody knows I'm living vicariously through them right now.
So, Chris, some stuff has maybe been teased about the future of virtual reality. What do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's obvious at this point that, so PlayStation has come out and said, if you haven't seen, PSVR 2 coming early 2023. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad that they're like dating it, quote unquote. While I'm excited, I'm always excited for new hardware, but like, I don't know that I would get it day one. There's a lot of content that I have on the Quest 2 that I just straight up have not played yet. And I find that I tend to only play VR in the winter. If it's nicer
Why
out,
is that?
I think it's when it's nicer out. I'll go outside a little bit. Not a ton, but like I feel like I do more around the house, or I'm just more present in other areas of my life. And then in the wintertime, I kind of like hunker down. And I don't feel bad putting on a headset. Like there's something about, I feel bad putting on a headset while it's still light out. Because the feeling of taking it off and it being dark is pretty crappy. It's like, I feel like I just wasted the day. Which I didn't. Like, I'll be playing a thing or whatever. But it's just easier for me to do that mentally in the winter. I don't know why. So I could see myself getting this like when it's a part of a bundle, or if they do include a bundle. I know there's been rumors, or they've all been confirmed, like a Last of Us game will come to PlayStation VR. They haven't obviously given any other specifics beyond that. I might wait for something like that, but
you'll walk over to a mirror, look in it, and you'll be Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. But like the Horizon game, while it looks really cool, I don't care. Like I really don't like Horizon anymore. I'm kind of over it. That game is also like a combination of many games that I have already played on Quest, other than the graphics being a lot better. Like I'm sure it'll just perform better than a lot of what's already out there. But I'm excited for anybody that is like exclusively a console player and has wanted to get into this, because I imagine anything that has already come out, like for the first gen PSVR, is going to run super well on this. Just higher resolution and all that.
We have to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like the big games that matter, I imagine they will get patched because they already are supported on PC VR headsets. So like Super Hot, Pistol Whip, Beat Saber, yeah, like stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going to get mods in Beat Saber, but they've added a lot of content to that game over the years.
I'm really curious how my understanding is that the tech in it is pretty impressive, and that it's gonna basically launch as like one of the best things that you can get, not just for the fact that it's like more accessible, because to get something that runs it well, you only need to buy a PS5 instead of buying like a higher end PC that would cost way more.
Right. But I mean, PS5 ain't cheap, but
it's not. But it's way like
cheaper.
It's cheaper, but yeah, like, but it also
it's probably the cheapest thing that you can buy that could run VR.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is going to be the thing that could kill this thing is the price. Like, if it's a way easier pill for someone to swallow. Well, actually, no, because now it's gone up. Originally, it was what, $199 for the Quest.
No idea.
I know it went up.
I feel like it was more than that.
It recently went up $100.
It was the same price as the Switch.
Yeah,
it was $300.
And it is its own platform. Yeah, now it's $400. So, yeah. I mean, it's tough. Like, because of inflation and everything, I could see them launching this thing at if they can't launch it higher than $400. They can't charge more than the cost of the console. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking.
Especially because it needs the console, right? The console does all the work for the most part.
I think the original launched at $250 or $300, which at the time, like I thought that was fair. Like I thought that made sense. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
and that would still put it cheaper. I mean, I think that.
I mean, it's way cheaper than a Valve Index and a gaming PC.
Yeah.
And like in theory, this would be better than that. Like I think it is a higher pixel density. I don't think it's a higher refresh rate. I should just pull up the stats.
Yeah, and I don't. Ilgirl Chill in the chat says, but they haven't confirmed the PSVR games will work on the second version.
I think they have.
I don't think. Have they confirmed that?
I thought they did. I'll check, but
I think that given how they've treated the move from PS4 to PS5, I think it would not make sense for them not to, even if they hadn't already confirmed. Like I don't think there's a universe where they could get away with not doing that. Now that said, this is Sony, so they might try. But if they've already confirmed it, then it's kind of.
Oh wow! Apparently they didn't.
Yeah.
So if anything, what I would expect you would see is you would see titles that like still kind of have a life on other VR platforms will get like the free PS5 upgrade that we see with other PS4 games right now.
Wow.
Free?
Well,
yeah,
some of them do.
Didn't Jim Ryan say that every first-party game getting an upgrade from PS4 to PS5 after Horizon Forbidden West, it would be like $10?
Not first party. At least I'm not referring to first party. I'm referring to like these more independent studios that would put their games out.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that
it's just a guess. Like obviously we don't know anything.
Sure. We're spitballing based off of like the history and like how things have gone. I do think that it's going to be really interesting looking at the value proposition because the Quest went up in price, but you don't have to have, from my understanding, you don't have to have a PC to run the Quest.
No, the Quest basically runs on like phone hardware. Yeah, like within the headset itself.
So
you just have to give Meta money, which
that would probably still be the most economical way to get into VR. And from my understanding, that still probably has like the widest range of games you can play on it.
Yeah, I mean the biggest sell with the Quest is the fact that like it is its own standalone thing, but you can use it with a PC. So if you wanted to play Half-Life Alyx and you had a gaming PC powerful enough, like this is what I do. If you have one powerful enough, you can do that. But if you're locked in, like I'm console only, I'm locked into the PlayStation ecosystem, like, you know, it makes sense.
Like last time, it feels like a kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and like it's not like PSVR didn't sell well. Like it didn't sell amazingly, or at least what I think Sony wanted it to, but I think it did better than a lot of people expected that it would, considering what it was.
I think, I definitely agree. I think considering what it is, I think it did pretty well.
Yeah. I think this time around, though, will be interesting because you have a lot of people that, especially just the cost of everything right now has been insane. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But now that I think more people have been exposed to VR, it'll be interesting to see just how many people actually find that they want this thing. Like as somebody that bought the first PSVR and has a Quest, like I don't feel this draw to it. And I am of the market of like the first in line people that I think they would want to get, you know what I mean? And right now I'm just not there.
I think of the three of us, I think you're probably the only person that would like be, I think you're probably the person that's most poised to like jump on PSVR 2.
Yeah, just to try it. And my tune may change. I mean, it happens all the time. Like once, you know, we get closer to hardware launch and pre-orders start going up, like all of a sudden my eyes kind of, you know, perk up and I'm like, maybe I'll try this out. Like it would not be the first time that I've done that. Yeah.
I'm curious about it, but I still don't think that we've reached. Becky in the chat makes an excellent point, which is what I was about to say. I need a killer app.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't gotten to the point where it's pushed it over. Like there's these little drops in the bucket. There's your Beat Sabers. There's your, you know, Super Hot, which Super Hot you can play, but like I played it in VR and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get the draw of VR. I would rather play this in VR than regularly, you know. So we've got that. We've got Beat Saber. We've got But then we've got things like Vader Immortal and like Batman VR and like those sorts of things, which are like, these are cool, novel ideas, but they're like, there's not really that much meat on the bone to like really dig into it. And then there's other things where it's like Tetris Effect, where it's like, this is cool, but I don't need this. Like, I can just play Tetris Effect and it's basically as good. Like, to me at least.
Yeah.
I know that you felt differently.
It's just closer to your eyeballs.
Sure. It's closest you can get to Tetris Effect without getting your eyes wet. But like, I feel like we just we keep having these drops in the bucket, but it's not enough to like tip the whole thing over. You know what I mean? Into, oh yeah, you definitely need to get into VR. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is a whole new way to experience games, and I like that, and I am intellectually compelled by that. But it's the same as like, you know, when you see a game trailer where it's like, oh yeah, this is a Metroidvania. It's, you know, got beautiful pixel art. It's set in a unique world. It's made by a developer that I love. Why don't I care about this?
Yeah.
And it's kind of that situation for me. I'm really curious to see what happens, but I'm definitely in a wait and see approach, particularly because I keep being in this position where like I have my PS5 right here plugged into my thing. I've got like 4 or 5 games on there that I intellectually would like to play, but like I just can't muster up the energy to actually play anything on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's just kind of like where that is for me. So I'm very curious to see if that changes.
Yeah, I mean, I know they haven't, thinking about it more, like they haven't confirmed whether or not those games are going to be backwards compatible. I think if they don't, it is a huge fucking mistake. Like, that is a huge mistake if they don't.
Because I bet you people who have bought into the old one who still want to play Beat Saber, but on their new one would be like upset.
Yeah, they'd be like, I
would be upset.
Like, I would never rebuy that. Like, Beat Saber is probably an exception because like I would never rebuy Beat Saber now that I have it on the Quest. Like, I have custom songs on there. But like Pistol Whip, I would never buy that game a third time. You know what I mean? Like, I bought it on the Quest because my PSVR headset like died. Like, that's the only reason I stopped playing it on there. I mean, that and I got a Quest, but do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
That's such a huge slap in the face to people that were like your diehards on day one of like, or maybe not day one, but like just Gen 1 of we're going to support this thing. We want this to do well. We'll buy software for it.
Yeah.
You know, you want those people to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to reward early adopters. You want to reward people who are the most committed to your platform. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if this gets more support than PSVR 1 did, because I think for it to be a meaningful thing in the gaming space, it's going to have to be better.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, we were literally just talking about this last week about going to buy physical media again, because like they keep not letting you do stuff. And Sony's a really
prime example,
really guilty of this, like in terms of, and also we just talked about this too, where they're like, no, we charge you $10 to like bring a game you already, even though yes, they did more work on it and stuff to make it work, but at the same time it's like, I already own this, why can't I just play it, you know, now? So I wouldn't put it past them to be like, no, this is like a new platform basically, and you have to buy Beat Saber again, or you have to, you know, spend however much money to upgrade it, quote unquote, for the new platform. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't think they should do that, because it's just, it sucks.
It's like poor optics, but that hasn't stopped them with anything else.
It hasn't stopped them because people pay for it and they make the money, right? So, but I that would, if they came out and said that, that would make me probably not want to invest in a PSVR. Because right now I'm in that waiting period where like I kind of want one, but not really. Like, I don't want one enough to like really invest. But like, if I got one, I'd be like, okay, cool, something to do. But if 5 years down the road, like I'm not like I have this library of games and they can't carry forward, or like, well, you know, there's a different PSVR headset and suddenly I can't use that headset on whatever the new thing is. Like that's bad feels, man. That would make me want to invest in a PC headset at some point, which is more expensive, but at least I wouldn't have to deal with like, you know, Sony constantly trying to charge you money. But it's kind of a wait and see thing, at least for me, because having played a few games in VR, like I see the novelty and I see like where people can make something really cool out of it, but right now it just doesn't quite feel that way. It's kind of what Becky said, like there's no killer app really. Like as cool as Beat Saber is and as cool as some other things that have been made are, like they don't really move the needle quite yet, and it's like a lot to ask for basically like arcade games that are things that you might pick up for 10 minutes. I mean, there's things like Alex, right? But like for the most part, like,
but even
Alex,
Alex,
they could even get that. Yeah.
Even Alex though, like I don't play that game for more than an hour. Like the problem isn't so much the software that's in it.
The medium.
It's the medium, and I think like you know, PSVR 2 may change this. Sorry if you can hear the lightning in the background. Also, if this stream stops, there's lightning in the background.
Whoop.
Yeah, whoop.
Oh boy.
But the what was I saying? Killer apps, Half-Life Alyx. Oh, I won't play games for more than an hour, or like Alex or something like that. PSVR 2, though, the specs of it are so high that it may just be like a more enjoyable, like less tiring experience, I guess I should say. Because I think part of it too is like while you're, at least on the Quest 2, like while you're wearing it, like it's not a 4K image. It's not super blurry, but it's not amazing.
Right.
I think the higher that fidelity gets and the easier it is for your brain to kind of process like that you are in a thing, then try to convince yourself that you're in a thing. I mean, in some cases, you know, the head crabs do get me, right? But I don't know. I think as it gets better, if they keep iterating on it, then people will be able to spend more time in it. But you also, like, how long do you want to stand in your living room spinning around in circles?
Not very long.
Not stepping on a cat. You know what I mean? That's honestly part of my problem with it. Is that I don't like I
try to spend as much time as possible not stepping on cats, to be honest.
Yeah. But I really only have the living room that I can play it in. And if Jess wants to watch TV, like I can try to do it in here, but then I'm like smashing the desk with the controllers.
I'm imagining her reading a book and you're like in the back. Like,
that's happened. There was one
flailing.
There's a game called Farpoint on PSVR that
fuck that game.
Dude.
Yep.
I think I told that story on this show.
That game gave me a panic attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where Jess was reading a book and it was like quiet, rainy Sunday morning, and a giant like 10-foot spider leapt at my face, and I screamed bloody murder. It was too much.
Yeah. So I couldn't take. I had to play that game when I worked at IGN, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I if I'd have known there was like giant spiders in it, I would not have played it.
Isn't there a video of you playing it?
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in it, but it's me playing it and freaking the hell out. I don't know if it's conveyed in the actual like movements, but I like legit had like a full on panic attack. I had to like pause the game after it happened and then like sit in the capture bay for like 10 minutes just calming down, because I was like, oh my god, this is like it's too much. It's freaked me out. I don't know. But also it's like you get a little sick. Like I get when I'm in a cockpit in VR, it's different. Or if it's a thing where like I'm just shooting, you know.
Squadrons is very good in VR.
I could see doing that because I'd be in a seat and then my brain would be like, you're in a cockpit. So my brain would be fine. But like when I had to play things like Fallout 4 VR or whatever, like, dude, my brain, after about 10 minutes, my brain is like, I can't do it because you're just like moving like the environment toward you, but you're not moving. And
it's
just,
that locomotion movement. And that's my biggest problem with the medium as a whole is like when I play Alex, I can't use locomotion. I have to use like the teleporting movements, which
even that,
like you eventually
after like 10-15 minutes, it gets me.
Right, like you eventually get used to it, like, or at least controlling that way. But you know, if I play it for more than 45 minutes, like I do start to be like, I need to lay down for like 10 minutes when I'm done. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah,
but these are things that they'll figure out in time.
VR,
the wave of the future,
maybe,
and the wave of the past.
I don't think it'll replace like traditional games in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Just like everybody freaked out about like mobile games, like everyone's only gonna make mobile games. It's like no,
we got over it.
Still make traditional games.
Yeah,
like there are some really good mobile games, but like
yeah, I think there's a way more substantial likelihood, or even an eventuality, that different monetization models will take over the industry than anything like just moving straight from traditional games to AR or VR. I think that there's way more of a likelihood of things like becoming like things continuing to trend towards battle pass, live action, that sort of stuff.
Oh, that is not where I thought you were going with
that. Than anything else.
I am a little tired of games feeling like jobs.
Or like subscription services and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Becky says in the chat, so we're pessimistic about the metaverse then.
Oh my god,
yeah. I am because like in large part because Forbes actually did an article on this recently. What?
Wait, are we talking about the metaverse, the idea, or are we talking about the metaverse, the thing that Zuckerberg is trying to convince us is the metaverse?
All of it.
Because that is
I don't
bullshit.
even like the idea.
But like Fortnite is basically a metaverse.
But not like this.
Yeah. Not like this.
And the internet is basically a metaverse. Like, it's in that way, like
I'm not into my life becoming Second Life.
No.
Right.
Certainly not.
Ready Player One.
Or what was that? Oh my god, what was that fucking movie? The movie where the guy
1 hour photo.
Timberlake, where he was like you were so off. Oh my god.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
When the guy was stealing, and he was stealing like minutes of life.
Oh, Out of Time.
Oh. Yeah.
Is that Out of Time?
Isn't that what it's called? Out of Time?
You out of time, maybe.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Anyway.
But I know what you're talking about.
Where like people are like basically immortal, like, and they're like just gambling with time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Wow,
that's where we'll eventually end up.
Yeah, the metaverse thing, or at least Zuckerberg's metaverse, there's an article on Forbes. If you just look up like metaverse Mark Zuckerberg, it'll come up. But it's just somebody dunking on it and being like, I have been looking at these avatars that are not great since 2017. And a company this big still just can't make it any better. Like, what the hell are they doing?
They've spent billions.
Dude, no one even had, no one who works at the highest levels of Facebook ever had a 3DS or a Wii and saw what Mii's look like, because that's what this shit looks like. Or like very, very, very early Xbox 360 avatars.
Unfortunately, the problem is they're trying to get it where it like is cute and accessible, like the Mii's. But also, it has to be low poly enough that it can run on mobile hardware.
Yeah. But it's also just incredibly sinister.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Meta as a company, and I live right next to them, which makes me like them even less, just because of what they do to the local economy.
And that they're always having their late night parties, making a bunch of noise.
Yeah, I'm calling the cops. They can't do anything about it. There is something kind of sinister just about them trying to push this like other world in it, that like you on some level might have to participate in. I have not heard a single person who's not either like upper echelon, like weird inner circle of Facebook, or some sort of corporate PR thing that has expressed any interest or excitement about this idea. Like everyone seems to hate it.
I have a.
But it seems
I
like
think the only reason that they posted that image is to try to convince us that Mark Zuckerberg has been to Paris.
Yeah.
that he's not an AI.
It's just him and just like the worst looking Eiffel Tower I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. And I don't think it's going to take off like at all. Like they're going to try and force it because they think that people want something like this. Like they want whatever this thing will end up being, and they're almost going to force it down your throat because they think like it'll make them a lot of money. But also like there is like a weird level of like control where like if there's only one of these things and like Meta controls it, like what now, right? Like we don't even have a good grasp of like the internet currently. Oh, it's kiss cam time. And it's been like 30 years of the internet and we're still having problems. I don't like it.
Becky in the chat says Meta is evil. Zuck's a demon squid. I thought when I glanced over, I thought you said sucks a demon squid. So Meta sucks a demon squid, which is strangely compelling. But yeah. So anyways, that's about all I want to dig into that because we don't need to be dooming, as much. Let's talk about some stuff that's slightly less depressing.
Okay.
Let's see. Should we get into the topics or should we shoot the shit a little bit more? We've been going for a while. But I also know that we're short one topic, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And my topic's not going to be super long.
All right. Go for it.
We can shoot the shit a bit more if we want to. Unless Chris, you want to dive into your thing. What do you think?
What do you want to shoot the shit about, Brian?
I don't know. I mean, I've got other stuff. Did you want to talk about that Last of Us teaser? There's like nothing to it. There's so many people. Let me ask you about this, Chris. Let me take your temperature on this. So many people out there are like, my God, Pedro Pascal is nailing it. And Bella Ramsey is nailing it too. They each have one line in this trailer, and I don't see how people are like taking this as like, oh my God, this is going to be the second coming of Christ.
I think it's just because it's not the alternative, right? It's not like it's not
horrendous.
Right. It's not like we saw this and everyone collectively was like, oh no. Like everyone saw this and was like, I want to see more, please. Like it's the excitement of what else is to come. Like that. I like the choice of scenes that they picked. I know he only delivers one line, but like that is that is an incredibly important scene in the game. And he delivered it very well. I'm very excited to see Nick Offerman. I think that casting's perfect. I think he looks great as Bill.
Basically, yeah.
I think the clicker that you saw, like for literally a frame, looks really good. Or the clicker corpse, I guess it basically is, because it's like one that's turned after too long or was infected for too long. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. I think it looks interesting. I like the locations that they've picked. Yep. I like what I'm looking at. We're just getting glimpses of they're crossing the snowy bridge and stuff like that. But it looks good.
I mean, that and a lot of the shots are very like 1-to-1 with what happens in the game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not excited. Like I'm excited for it for other people to be able to experience the story. That like, and I've said this on the show a million times. My dad's never going to play The Last of Us, even though I gave him a PS4 and tried to get him to play it over COVID. Like it's never going to happen. But
yeah,
he might watch the show. There's a better chance of him watching the show.
And then you could talk to him about The Last of Us.
Right.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Spread that good word of sadness.
Harry in the chat said also to clarify, the Justin Timberlake movie is In Time, not Out of Time.
What?
Okay. Which I think that's the one where he made the song. We've only got 5 minutes to save the world, right? That's the one where he did that.
In Time.
That song for
Is
that.
it?
Yeah. So who's the lead in Out of Time?
Isn't it him?
Out of Time is Denzel Washington.
Y'all are.
Yes.
That's definitely not the movie.
Yeah,
that
Brian,
I was thinking of.
I know which movie you're thinking of.
Unless Denzel Washington in that movie also had a wrist guard that had like the amount of time
you're talking about you're talking about In Time.
Yeah.
Out of Time, a Florida police chief must solve a vicious double homicide before he himself falls under suspicion.
It's called In Time. In Time.
Yes.
No. You're thinking of Man on Fire. No.
You're thinking of Hancock, written by Gary Whitta.
No. You're not thinking of Hancock. You're thinking of Minority Report.
Ah, no, wait.
It's so easy to confuse those. No. You're not thinking of Hancock. You're thinking about whatever Furious movie also had her in
and Stitch.
Whatever Fast and Furious movie also had Charlize Theron in it. Because she was in Hancock. Surprise.
So, going back to The Last of
Us.
Also,
Hancock was basically Hawkman and Hawkgirl, the movie. Like, it's just a ripoff of that. Anyway.
I didn't see it.
I don't remember it.
How likely, I bet you, let me rephrase this. I have this feeling, like, I haven't watched this trailer, but I just have this feeling like this is going to come out and a lot of people are not going to like it.
Sure. That will absolutely happen. There will be plenty of people that don't like it.
Not because it's anything's fault. And some of the people who I would say that you're saying are like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing or whatever. I have a feeling like a lot of those people will not like it either. I don't know. I feel like people get so hyped about stuff these days and then they're just setting themselves up for disappointment.
That's very true. And I wanted to talk about this actually. I wasn't sure if I should wait until next week, but it is topical now. So Saints Row reviews just came out, and they're not great. But She-Hulk also came out, and if you look at the consumer versus critic reviews, like there's this huge inverted bell curve where a ton of people are like 10 out of 10, greatest thing of all time. And then a ton of people are like, 1, this is the woke agenda and nonsense and garbage and fuck everything. And then there are people in the middle who are like, man, it really, like you see like Tamor Hussein was tweeting out about like, Hulk says bruh in this and it just bums me out because everybody they're just really writing everybody as like a funny, relatable everything. And when you write everybody as like Star-Lord, then nobody's notable anymore.
Yeah.
Like the reason why early Marvel was notable was Greg's character, I forget his name, the SHIELD guy, was a very different character than Tony Stark, who was a very different character than Rhodey, who was a very different character than like, Thor.
You're talking about Agent Coulson?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I think the actor's name is Greg.
When you said SHIELD guy, I was like, Captain America?
No,
you should know this.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, but like they're very, you know what I mean? And Captain America, case in point, Captain America was really different, and so like, but there's also like this weird, like critical tendency, and I think that it's good. Like there's a part of Saints Row coming out that I think is good, which is some outlets are choosing to explore the space. And I think that we need to, as reviewers, if we use review scales, we don't really hear, unless we're like contextualizing something. But we don't like review every game that we do with a number. But I think it is really important to explore the space. And I think that some people are choosing to do that. But I think that this tendency to be hyperbolic about stuff and say, this is the fucking greatest thing of all time, or this is the worst thing to ever happen to me, is like, it's just exhausting to me.
Specifically to me.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's
that is like part of it where it's like,
I know.
where it's like, this movie ruined my childhood or something like that. And it's just like,
Yeah, I hate that.
There's a part of that I relate to, not to that extreme level, but like there is a part to which like a little bit of leaven leavens the whole bread, or like, you know, there's a fly in the ointment. Now I'm not going to use any of it. You know what I mean? Like there's a degree to which I think that can be true. Like you can say all that you want that like X movie or X game still exists and you can still enjoy it. But there is an element, for me at least, to which something bad coming out in a series can kind of sour that whole thing for me. So I understand that, but I think that even then, I think that like having a more measured approach to these sorts of things is really important when examining them from like a critical lens. And I know that consumers are like gonna consume and be that way, but I think that it's important to keep that in mind as we're looking at reactions to things, as we're gauging things, as we're measuring our own hype for things like the Last of Us series. Like I'm mildly looking forward to it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it's one of those things where it's like, I'm looking forward to the opportunity that it has to be great. And if it doesn't measure up to that, I you know, whatever. But if it does, then that's cool. You know, I think that we could use more good things. You know, but I'm not sure really where I wanted to go with that.
Yeah, I don't either. Like of course I want the show to be good. I wanted Uncharted to be good, and it wasn't. Like I don't know that it necessarily sours the whole franchise for me. Like I feel the same way about like Zelda Spirit Tracks. Like how many freaking Zelda games are there? Like
I forget but you don't have to play
that game exists. Like
yeah, me too.
You keep reminding me. You keep bringing it up.
Stop talking about it. Otherwise, it won't go away.
Let the world forget, Chris. We've suffered enough.
Yeah, but like
you know, they say the last time someone says your name, it's like dying a second death. If we all just stop talking about Zelda Spirit Tracks,
we can finally kill it for the last time.
Yeah, we'll die its second death.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What a dark way to talk about that. But yeah, like it's I guess it just.
I think part of it too is just the hyperbole of the internet. Like, and it's part of the reason I am sure Josh has stopped going on the internet because of this, or one of the many reasons. Like, as far as social media,
on the internet every day. What are you
social media. Like, it's one of the main reasons I don't go on nearly as much as anymore, is because everyone's opinion is so like, oh, like I had so many people, and like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the love, and I appreciate everybody reaching out to me, because apparently I am like the Last of Us guy. But
I don't know why
I can't imagine
that would be the case.
I can't imagine why.
Why would people think that
a game he's only played once and never talked about
and never did anything to his body that's relatively permanent?
Never. But you know, I was like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm jazzed about it." I don't know.
What do you think? Yeah.
It's
a
30.
crumb, but the crumb tasted good.
Right. There was a good crumb. I can't wait for the cake. Like, I can't have much more of an opinion than that, other than it. So far, it looks good. You know, I want everything that I want to be good, or just everything to be good. Actually,
controversial statement.
Yeah. Not everything can be good. Though.
I want things.
You need
to be good. No,
you need some things to be bad, because otherwise.
I disagree with that.
There's no spectrum.
I'm with you. Yeah, you can't, Brian. There's no such thing as half a wave. There can't be a trough without the crest. All right.
Right.
There's got to be.
Yeah, but that's not how art works. That's how physics of fluids work.
That's life, bro. You can't have good days without bad days. You can't have bad movies.
I totally disagree, but yeah, okay.
And also, your definition of a good movie is different from someone else's definition of a good movie, and no one will ever agree.
I mean, it's completely subjective, right? Like, it's
art,
and
it's
that's
not
just
completely. It's not completely subjective.
It's pretty subjective.
It is largely subjective.
You've never met my Uncle Randy. It's very subjective. I could show that man the Uncharted movie and sit there and watch it with him, and he would be like, "That was really good," and I would just be like, "Get out of my house!" Like,
and I think that compared to many movies, it probably is pretty good.
Get out.
Yeah,
get out
you
of my
know,
house,
that's
Brian.
probably
The point that I'm making
he
is
does have a point though, because I don't know if you've watched a lot of movies. A lot of movies are very bad, like very bad.
Like watch Uncharted and then watch The Room, and tell me that there's
The
not a
Room-
level of objectivity to some of quality. Like,
But The Room is like not a good example because
That's
The
the
Room
problem
succeeds on
at
a lot of
being a
levels.
yeah.
The fact that it like brings people together and like people enjoy, like they don't enjoy it.
They enjoy the
itself,
experience
like,
of
in a
watching
vacuum.
it.
The experience of it is different, and you can tell that this guy thought that this thing he was making was fucking awesome, but then it turns out it was ridiculous.
I mean,
but
don't
there are
have
just
an
some
example.
very bad things.
Okay,
Labyrinth is that way.
Fine. All right, fine. Fuck you both. I Know Who Killed Me.
I don't
The
even
Lindsay
know what that
Lohan
is.
vehicle movie. Like there are some metrics.
Herbie Fully Loaded. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
There's a movie called I Know Who Killed Me with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh. You said the vehicle or whatever, the vehicle one. Anyway,
the Lindsay Lohan vehicle. That's a word. You get what I'm saying.
I get you.
The film is a Lindsay Lohan delivery
I thought
device.
you meant a film with Lindsay Lohan and a vehicle.
I Know Who Killed Me. You know that movie with Lindsay Lohan and the Volkswagen Beetle?
Yeah, I was like, I've seen that movie. I'm pretty sure that Beetle doesn't run her over. It's a Disney film.
I Know Who Killed Me, and it was Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah.
Anyways, I needed a laugh.
God.
Well, you got one.
Oh my God.
Mom Jum says, when I think about internet, I haven't read this whole comment, so I hope it's not bad. When I think about
He's going to end with a racial slur.
I know. Yeah. Internet opinion. I just remember that every actor cast to play Batman was met with the internet cries of awful and ruined my childhood long before their movies came out. You're not wrong.
That is absolutely true. People talk so much trash about Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker, and then he became one of the most notable performances of all time.
Yeah.
It's almost like they cast these people for a specific reason.
Yeah.
You know,
it's almost like good casting directors know something that you don't.
And they've seen them actually act what they're going to do, right? So,
yeah. Also, before anybody comes at me too hard about The Room and bringing up The Room, I have not seen The Room yet.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Brian.
Come on, man.
It's bad, but it's a good time.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want to get into watching more films, and not just good ones, but I also want to get into watching good bad movies, because I feel like there's something
Honestly, all you have to do is just start watching more movies, and you will find them. Because I watch a lot of horror movies, and let me tell you, a lot of them are very bad. And some of them are bad good.
Josh, I was going to that sentence that I was saying was going to continue into, like the dean from Community. I was like, this better not awaken something in me. And then I did Dark Corridors with you, and I was like, I think there's something to this. Like watching what was that heavy metal movie that we watched?
Deathgasm.
Fucking awful.
No, it's not. Deathgasm's amazing. What a great movie.
It's so bad.
It's not bad. Deathgasm's awesome.
Deathgasm is extremely bad, but it's also a little charming.
You need to watch more movies if you think Deathgasm is bad, because there are some true stinkers out there.
But I'm also not a horror movie guy. So there's that. But anyway, let's talk about some games. We've been talking about movies for too long.
Real quick.
Yeah, for an hour.
I do have a very wholesome story for you, Josh. So, last week.
Just for Josh?
Just for
what
Josh.
About me?
You're not going to care. Yeah, you're not. You won't care as much as Josh does. Or will. Was down the shore last week. That's why I was not on the show.
Jersey Shore.
When we got to, my uncle has a little shore house in the Villas, New Jersey. When we got there, we started talking about my grandmother, and he was like, Mimi gave me 2 gifts that I love to this day, and I still use constantly. One of them was a calendar that a little wooden calendar that he uses. He's like, I just think it's so cute. The other one was a box DVD set of all of the original Universal monster movies. And
Hell
when she gave it to him, she was like, you probably hate it. I didn't know what to get you. I just know you like Frankenstein. And he was like, Mom, this is amazing.
Those movies are good.
Yeah.
I still watch them on the rig.
Yeah, man.
Because they're good. That is funny though. Probably hate it. I have had that experience before where like someone gives you something and they're like, I didn't know what to get you, and that's like your favorite thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god,
like,
you nailed it.
No.
Yeah.
You got it. This is great.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty easy to please. You give me like, some cake or something, I'm right with the
Say it, Brian. I know it's just eating you up inside. I can see it.
What's eating me up inside?
Are you looking at Ill Girl Chill's comment?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Ill Girl Chill in the chat says, okay, so you're the ultimate internet dude, complaining and comparisons nonstop, but without actually saying. The reason that I used The Room as an example is because I was reaching for a bad movie that I had seen, and nothing was coming to mind.
He's never seen a bad movie.
And so I've seen loads of bad movies. I just don't remember.
I don't know what all
later.
These people are talking about. Movies are pretty great.
No, I've seen.
This has some Boss Baby vibes.
I have seen so many bad movies, but here's the thing: after I watch them, they leave my mind. And I just grabbed onto The Room because that's the one that everyone knows about, the bad good movie or whatever.
You know what movie I loathed? I actually fell asleep in. You, Me, and Dupree with Owen Wilson. I hated that movie.
That's the one about the dog, right?
It's like he's his best man.
Is that Marley and Me?
That's Marley and Me. That movie's very sad. No,
but it's also Owen Wilson, and it's
and Jennifer Aniston, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
What's Jennifer Aniston up to these days?
Welcome to movies.
Hanging out with Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
Yeah. They're friends. I don't know. They talk about it.
Fair enough.
Anyways, basically, I'm trying to say, Harry, you are right, but I only reached for that because my brain failed me, and I apologize.
Get him, chat. Get him.
I did not start this podcast to be held to account about my ridiculous things that I say. But I guess that's what I asked for.
Well, here we are.
But here we are. Yeah. So, I'm here to talk about a game called Cursed to Golf.
Yes.
You guys seen anything about this?
I've heard of it. It sounded funny. Haven't played it.
Oh, I really wanted Josh to do it. Have you seen this? Have you heard of this?
You seen this? Heard about this?
Yeah,
so, this has been in early access on Steam for a while.
I can't stop golfing.
I can't. You seen this? You heard of this? I
He's
start playing golf. I can't stop.
It's not cursed golf. It's cursed to golf.
Cursed to golf. Yes.
He's like shackled.
Yes.
The golf.
Which is exactly. So the premise of this is you were in the middle of a game of golf. You were doing amazingly. You're just an ace. You're, a really talented golf player, and you died in the middle of your final hole that you were doing at this tournament.
Hole.
And so you go to like golf purgatory, basically. And you have to complete 18 holes of like death golf in order to come back to life and these sorts of things. So you're playing golf, but it's a roguelike. So they've said that it's the first ever golf-like, which is just marketing mumbo jumbo. But it's interesting. I don't love it. But I'm seeing a lot of other people being really into it. So I'm going to go into some of the stuff that like kind of annoyed me, and then I'll tell you what I think is cool. Actually, you know what? Flip that and reverse it. I'll tell you the cool stuff, and then I'll get into some of my gripes. So I think the art is good. The music is good. I don't know, Chris, if you can like pull up like kind of what this looks like for a moment. for the viewers. But it is very much in the wheelhouse. It's published by Thunderful, which is responsible for things like the SteamWorld games and stuff like that. And it has like a comparable, an almost comparable like level of quality on like the visuals and stuff like that. Like it's it's pixel art and this sort of stuff. It's good. It's pretty basic in what you do at the base level. You've got your driver, you've got your iron, you've got your wedge. Here we go. So right here, your power, and then you're aiming up and down. So you can zoom out and look left to right, but you're basically trying to navigate around different like hazards like water or like just random roughs and stuff like that, hitting over ledges and things. But you only have a certain number of the pars on these holes are ridiculous. Like it'll be like you've got 5 strokes to get there, but it's going to take you like at least 7 or 8. And so the way that they get around that is they've got these little statues. They've got like little silver statues and little gold statues. And if you hit the ball through those statues, you get extra strokes. So you get 2 extra strokes for a silver statue, 5 extra strokes for a gold statue. And you also get like consumable cards that you can play as you're going through the level, and they let you do different things. Some of them will just straight up add extra strokes that you have. So there's like add 1 to your total, add 2 to your total, and things like this. But there's other ones like stop time in the middle of your, thing, change direction, like with a U-turn ball, and then you'll shoot the ball and then you hit B and then it'll slow down time and then you can redirect your ball and hit B again and it'll fly off in a different direction. So you can use that to like get around corners in a single stroke and different things like this. There's also like a weight or something where like you can shoot a ball and then activate that and it'll drop straight down so that you can keep it from getting into like nasty hazards and like kind of more pinpoint your stuff. You also learn how to like spin the ball, like put spin on the ball and stuff like that to add a little bit of depth to it later. So all of this takes like a very simple premise and kind of gives it some legs. You also choose like, I'm going to go left and right on the path. So like there are different holes that you can do. Some are cursed and they add like every couple of shots that you take, it'll be like, you can only shoot your ball to the right now. Or, you'll like some other thing will happen. And it's basically like just generally harder than that. If you ever get to a point where you run out of shots, that's it. And you start the whole thing over again. Which is a little annoying. But it's also a game for which like I generally find the gameplay satisfying, but I think that the balance is like just a little off for my tastes. Like there aren't really any like scaling options. Like there's no be a little bit more generous with strokes or something, or let me like redo stuff. Like you can do a mulligan on something, but that's a card and you have to buy those cards or find them in like treasure chests that have random drops. So like the degree of control that you have over like what you can do is so small that it's not like for me, like one of the things that I like about Inscription is you can over time make things like kind of lean in your favor. Like you don't have to start from scratch every time. And that is more of what you're doing in Curse to Golf. And I think because of that, and they're not randomly generated or procedurally generated courses, but they've made 70 different holes that they've specifically designed, but whichever holes you get in that 18 holes that you're trying to make as you escape will be different each time. So like maybe the first hole that you do is actually like hole number 35 or something that they just randomly socketed into your run at that point. So you may see the same hole more than once as you go through it, but if you just go through and escape on your first time, like you'll only see 18 holes. that they did out of the pool of 70. So there's a couple of things that I find a little bit obnoxious because you're hitting your ball so far to the left and right on the screen. Like, even though you can zoom out and you can like move left and right, because you're shooting it so far, like you won't be able to see where you're going all the time. Like, you'll be able to guess, but I don't know. I found that I was having like the Hotline Miami 2 problem, where like I was running into problems specifically because the screen wasn't letting me see where I was going. So like I could plan on something, but I really could only have like a very loose plan without specifically knowing where I was going to end up. So that was a little bit annoying. Also, I ran into, here's a PSA for anybody trying to play this game. It doesn't clearly label or like explain to you what the menu options are. So when it says abandon hole or whatever, don't click that, because I was on like hole 4 or 5 and I just wanted to take a break. And so I was trying to back out to the menu, and instead of hitting quit, or I was trying to go back to like I was trying to back out of the hole, but not my run. And that's not a thing. And so when I hit like abandon hole, it just like started me over from the very beginning. So don't do that. Don't make the mistake that I did. Yeah, but like accessibility options in here basically don't exist except for adjusting the vibration. But the last time I played a golf game that I really loved, that kind of scratched the itch that I wanted this one to, was with Golf Story on Switch. So I'm not sure that roguelikes and golf really match, but I'm gonna try it a bit more.
I feel like you're in pain talking about this game, like talking about trying to enjoy this game.
Yeah,
there's a gun to your head.
Yeah, like you don't have to play it if you don't want to play it.
yeah, I know. I feel bad because I was this was one of those things where like we were talking about earlier, where I was like, oh, this looks cool, and then I got into it and it was just not. It's just not what I wanted. So
sometimes you go on a date and they're not the one, and that's okay.
It's true. It's true. But there are a lot, I'm not the only voice out here on this, and a lot of people that I have seen on social media and other stuff like that are like really feeling this game. So I mean, feel free to check it out. But just know when you're going in, like I was talking about Logic Pick, like last week or a couple of weeks ago, where it's like this is a fun game, but it's very simple and there are not very many options. So just know that what you're getting into, like as far as like customization and different things like that, is like really limited and focused. And like this game is what it is, and if you're not okay with signing up for that, then it's like it's not gonna be for you. I feel like there are a lot of people, maybe even who are watching right now, for whom this like is exactly what they want.
Yeah,
like, Chris, I could see you enjoying this.
I have no doubt I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games that like I have so many other things I'm like interested in playing right now, and that I bought on that like giant Switch sale, that this would fall into that same kind of category. And I haven't even begun to dig into those. Like I'd rather like Eastward and a bunch of other.
That's a game I need to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I like it. It just is this. It's just a little off.
Maybe try it later.
Yeah, I could definitely see doing that. Like playing something else and then coming back to it. Because it seems like one of those things where it's like, I just need to. I think the thing that I want right now is a game that I can just play through start to finish. And so I'm not sure that I'm in the right frame of mind for something that's kicking me back to the front door, like this game is.
Honestly, Mario, what is it? The Mario Golf, the first Switch, whatever the hell that was called, Super Rush. The single player mode eventually has modes like that. Like there's a level that I'm stuck on it that I will never beat. I'll never go back to that game. because it's just like that, where they drop you into an area and there's like 15 holes that you have to like get a ball into. And I think you have like 20 minutes or something to do it. And if you don't do it, you just start from the beginning. And it's just like, do I really want to keep reinvesting all this time into the same level over and over again?
Yeah.
I don't. There's a place for that, and it feels like that is like arcade games. Like Resogun is like one of those where it's like the iterate. I feel like when the iteration time is low enough, I feel like that's fine.
Well, that in the
But
game
my Resogun runs are like 45 minutes. But...
Right, but that's a game that like you are constantly moving, you're constantly engaged. Like something like golf is. I love golf games. Like, don't get me wrong, but
I love Hot Shots golf.
Yeah, like it's just a slower experience. Even Super Rush, like all you're really doing is just running to where your ball went. Like that's not just because you can do it doesn't mean it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if Curse to Golf does that. If they just pop you to wherever your ball ends up, but
they literally just pop you to the
that's
place where your ball fell.
Yeah.
And you can fast forward, like you can hold the right trigger, and it'll just fast forward through that animations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe if I could play it on like a widescreen monitor and get like ultra wide and like see the entire map, like I bet you I would have way more fun. But then I would have more control over this sort of thing. I'm playing on PC. I don't know if it's like if there's a way around this. I definitely didn't see it in there, and I'm not sure if there's like something they didn't like explain where like, oh yeah, you can definitely pan while you're aiming or whatever, but. Maybe I'm just one of those dumb journalists that doesn't know how to play games.
God.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, check it out if you want. It is definitely one of the games that is out. And if you were thinking about hopping into Saints Row, maybe try this instead.
Such a ringing endorsement.
Yeah. Try it if you want.
Try it if you want. It exists.
I mean, but I was leaning into like, there's other stuff now that's like, being received more poorly in the AAA space, so like it still might be like the best thing for you right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, but there's that.
That's cool.
That's what I got to say about that.
Right.
God, there's this game. I actually reached out to the developer. I don't think I'm going to hear back from them. Frogun. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I feel like I've heard this.
It is a N64.
That's my favorite dessert.
Frogun?
Yeah, Frogun.
Is an N64/PS1 era style platformer.
Oh Jesus! Of course you like this.
You play as like this girl who has like a frog gun, and it just looks fun. All right. It looks cool.
I'm in.
It does. I'm clicking through the.
Looks like a very low barrier to entry, very colorful, lots of things to pick up.
I'll use the Frogun.
Yeah. But if you're into those kinds of games, check it out.
Catch the Frogun.
Catch the Frogun. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it, and then I'll decide if I want to buy it.
Hey, I know that this is normally a show where we review things for you. Forget that.
Now it's your turn.
Help us out.
I've also been playing Majora's Mask.
Yeah, you have.
For the first time since the 3DS release that I did not finish. I've never beaten Majora's Mask.
Yo, real talk. I know that we're like breaking the thing. I'm looking at this video of Frogun. This game looks fun.
That's what I'm saying. The game looks fun as hell.
I don't even like these games.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull up a video of this game that none of us have played.
I'm literally just looking at a GIF playing on the Steam page.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my God. This YouTuber deserves every view that they get. We're going to pull up their video. Switch Corner is the YouTuber. Based on
Why do they deserve every view that they get?
The review headline, Frogun Nintendo Switch review. A riveting platformer. And then on top of it, the thumbnail says, "Should you hop on?"
Oh my God.
I love it. Love it. You're getting the click.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Unacceptable.
Let's pop out the not the mini player. No. Also,
unacceptable.
I I'm not going to say that. Never mind. I'm not going to say it on the show. It's fine.
Okay.
Ignore me. Yeah.
Ignore me.
This is Frogun.
Ignore me.
It just looks fun, you know? Nice little turn off your brain. You had a hot day at work. You want to collect some coins with your little Frogun.
I had a hot day.
I'm here for it. It's on Switch. It's on Steam. I don't know if it's on anything else. But if this is in any way interesting to you, give them money and then let me know what you think of it. But yes, I've been playing Majora's Mask on
the worst Zelda game that's not Spirit Tracks.
No, Majora's Mask is great. All right, and always has been.
I knew this would happen.
I'm tired of this like whole thing where people were like, "It's bad." Oh, it's good actually. No, it's always been good. You've just been bad at it. It's what is the
So
answer.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't have Nintendo 64.
I didn't either. I just played this game at my friend's house.
I remember, so I rented this game when it came out. My mom...
I 100%ed this on 3DS, I will tell you.
Oh, wow. My mom had been... what was it? She was shampooing the carpet, and she like needed me to just like go away. So she took me to Blockbuster, and I rented this. And I remember just like not understanding it as a kid. And then I tried it again on the Wii. I think it was the Wii or Wii U. And like I didn't really get it. I like was kind of short on time and like couldn't really invest time into it. Started playing it on the 3DS.
I started playing it last week and I just didn't really get it.
No. And then I started playing it on 3DS and I got the furthest that I had ever gotten, which was I finished the swamp area. And it just sort of fell off of it. I don't know. I was just kind of like, oh my God, how much longer is this game? Like, it just didn't grab me. And
any section where they force you to be the fucking Deku scrub, I was like, I'm ready for this to be over.
I don't know, man. I'm digging the hell out of this game now. Like,
yeah.
Every time I have a free moment, I am just thinking about it and thinking about when is the next time I'm going to be able to play Majora's Mask. Like, I think
because it's so unlike any other Zelda game.
It's that
it has like such a unique flavor and mechanics.
It's very focused, like you have to be focused while playing it. In terms of like you have to start the day and be like, this is what I'm doing today. Like with
you can't enjoy yourself. You can't take your time and smell the roses or anything like that.
I mean, you can.
Who
but
the hell
like,
wants to take their time?
You just can't. You can't get distracted. Which I tend to do in a lot of things. Like how I just dropped my wedding ring. But no, I mean, I'm finding
I will tell
that...
you this. I am really glad that I was not a guide writer when that game came out.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. God. Yeah. Could not imagine having to do that.
Those poor people at like Prima or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm playing it on... I actually moved from the Steam Deck to the Batocera PC. And yeah, I mean, it's great. There is a Nintendo Switch, or it is on Nintendo Switch Online if you want to check it out.
But yeah, you have that. You have to have the 64.
Yeah, you have the 64 expansion to play it. It does. I mean, it runs on there. Like it's not like I booted it up and I was like, this runs like shit, you know. But I upscaled it to like 4K, put a texture pack in. It's widescreen. Like I did all this crazy stuff to it. So it's like the best N64 Majora's Mask experience I could get.
The version of Majora's Mask Nintendo doesn't want you to see.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not.
Probably not. But,
to be fair.
Yeah, I was between this and getting into Skyward Sword, because I've never beaten that game either. And
I've never played it.
Every time I play it, I get mad. But Logan was like, you gotta play with motion controls. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, I was watching like a Scott the Woz video recently, and he was like talking about why the Switch port's like not good. And it's because the game was literally designed around motion controls.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't play with them, then
of course it's gonna feel weird.
It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not down for that, then you know you're not down for that. But if you're wanting to like actually experience that game, then you have to kind of play it on the Wii, I think. Or does the Switch one have motion controls? I actually don't know.
The Switch one does if you use the Joy-Con, like the split Joy-Con setup.
Does it actually work okay, or is it not?
I didn't care for it. Logan swears that it's good. He said he loved his experience playing it. I think he's lying, piece of shit, but I think he lies about everything because he's the worst person ever.
Well, if it's comparable to the Wii Motion Plus or better even, then I would give it a go.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a chance. I like to say this, and then we all know how I get. I get distracted, and then I never finish games. There's a chance that I would start playing it on Switch. I would get mad, and then I would play it on Dolphin, and then I would get mad, and then I would not finish it. It's probably
that sounds like a you thing.
That's probably what's going to happen. And then the Last of Us remake's going to come out, and then I'm not going to play anything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Do I need to?
Yep.
What?
Do you have paper?
Do I have paper?
Not paper.
You got papers?
I'm just
Trying to roll. Josh, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm tired. Just like you.
Just like me?
It's too hot. I'm ready for the heat to go away.
Me too.
You know, not forever, but for like the year. I'm ready for the heat to go away for a year.
One reason I'm tired is because I've recently joined a climbing gym and I did that several times.
Oh, like
a rock wall gym?
Climbing.
Yes.
How is it?
Those are so fun.
They're great.
It's very good. And also on last Friday, my brother-in-law held my life in his hands because we went to
on belay.
Yeah, he was on belay for me, and I climbed up 3 stories, 3 different times.
Good for you.
At this gym, didn't fall, didn't falter. Was able to climb up around a corner, which is really difficult.
Yeah.
On 2 different lines, and yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing the bouldering, which is like the free climbing. I did some auto belay stuff where they've got like you hook into a line that goes to the top, and then when you're done, you just let go, and it like slowly lowers you down.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's great. It's very tiring.
Well, yeah.
It's very demanding, particularly when you're climbing with no rope whatsoever. Up into the sky,
yeah,
and then climbing up on top of things, and then
the rope
wandering
helps
around
pull you, right? A little bit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just keeps you from falling. It doesn't actually help you, but it's also like, it's an idea. You know what I mean? Like, it's the idea that like, if I let go now,
like
I'm secure because of this. Because of this rope that someone is holding.
It's that like mind over matter thing when you're.
I was communicating with AJ. I was yelling down to him like, I want to take a rest, and then he holds fast, and I can like let go, and like just sit there for a minute and rest my hands and think about the line, and then keep moving up and stuff like that. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I need to stretch more, because doing this for like 1 to 2 hours, like just a couple of times, like it's just very.
You use muscles that you normally wouldn't move, and like if you just like went to a workout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which is part of the reason why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Is because it's a full body practical workout.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am developing a skill, which is being able to climb things. So if I'm ever in like one of those situations where it's like, oh, I'm a freaking fat slob, but I'm trapped in an emergency situation and I need to climb up to safety. And like, but I have no experience doing this. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I could find some handholds, and I've got grip strength, that I'm developing now and stuff like that. Like, it's useful stuff. But yeah, it's also just fun. So and they change it up regularly. Like they change up like the patterns and stuff on the walls, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
good for you.
It's nice. It's nice. So this is the form that my exercise has taken. Climbing stuff.
I see a membership to Planet Fitness in my very near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a gym at work that I could use.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know how often I'm going to be going there. So.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's basically all I had.
Yeah, it was a quiet week. Other than watching I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I finally finished the Dark Tournament, Yu Yu Hakusho. Great show. Great series if you've never seen it. Also, Pidgeot is in it. Don't know why.
For real though, I know that you like linked that, but like,
did you see the picture?
It's a floofy bird, but like
it looks just like him.
I didn't see this.
Let me pull up the picture. It looks just like Pidgeot in and like that show during that tournament, like they show the same shots like several times of the crowd because it goes on for so long. And
so it's just like Pidgeot. You can see Pidgeot being like, "I'm really getting into this tournament."
Just like,
oh wow, it's super hype. Oh, I'm kind of over it.
Right. So like, there's that one, and then audio listeners are like, "What?" Go on my Twitter if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then that's so. There we go. That's better.
And again, this is the show about the dude with a ghost finger.
He has like a finger gun.
He has a finger gun.
Ghost finger.
Ghost finger. He looks just like him.
Ghost finger. Wah, wah, wah.
He has.
Quick, hit the keypad. I
ghostly finger.
I have a ghost finger.
Anyway.
How would you? You might as well not have a finger at that point, right? Because you can't interact.
Ghost finger.
Because you can't interact with the world at that point.
You just
I mean, unless you're like at the end of Ghost and you're like, I can finally touch you.
Like, well, no, like Voldemort couldn't have that moment, right? Like,
he couldn't
touch you now, and then it just goes right through.
Ghost, but according to the lore that Brian has just set up, Ghost Finger could.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about Harry Potter. I was talking about the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
I understand.
Where he literally learns to touch things even though he's a ghost.
But I'm talking about the movie that we are now writing, directing, and starring in, The Legend of Ghostfinger.
The Legend of Ghostfinger, Majora's Mask.
Yes. It sounds like something
it's
I
about
would...
a pirate.
Oh,
it's about ghosts on a pirate ship.
My mind went somewhere very inappropriate.
Majora's pitched tent. Yeah.
This is a video games podcast.
It is a video games podcast. Sometimes. And we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us for episode 244. Watch us record live at twitch.tv/platformerspod and check out the archived episodes at youtube.com/platformerspod. You can follow us on Twitter at platformerspod, and you can find me individually at Ribnax on Twitter, RIBNAX. And to check out the stuff that I'm doing, you can look over at IGN.com and check out the Multiverses coverage. I'm going to be having a Morty guide coming up soon. The patch changes, TLDR, I tweeted out about that. There are a lot of characters that got buffed. There are a lot of characters that got nerfed. The only one who really didn't change that much was Tom and Jerry, which was a really good character anyway. But yeah, I'll be writing more as season 1 progresses. So check that out over there. And review the show and all that sort of stuff. And Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see the full video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic. My latest video, Art is Magic, Little Witch Academia, and Alan Moore is out now, and it's
a good end.
It's thank you. It is outpacing like all my last few videos, which is kind of funny because I didn't think it was that great, but people seem to like it. So
it's short, sweet, and fun. That's what I like.
It's short and sweet and weird.
Yes.
And it was meant to be that way.
Which is the Josh content that I crave. Short, sweet, and weird, just like you.
The next one will be long.
Oh. Fantastic. You can find me at Shrives93. Yeah, I don't have anything going on other than this is my upcoming this weekend. This is my last weekend with IGN.com.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
We all knew it was coming.
My final 2 shifts. I will no longer be a social media man. I will no longer be the weekend warrior, as they call me, for IGN.com.
And and you'll be a part of the games industry in a more limited capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm happy for you, dude. I'm excited to see the 17 new projects that you start to make up for all that time. So
you know me so well.
It's true.
Yeah, it's probably what's gonna happen, realistically. Mom Chum, thank you. It's very sweet of you to say.
Oh yeah, he said it's IGN's loss, and it absolutely is.
No, I am very grateful for all the time that I had there, but it's time. I need to have my weekends back. I want to actually be able to have content to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
And play video games and do all the things.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Anyways, from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, scrumptious week, and go out and see something in your local theaters.
Hell yeah.
Why not? Yeah, but from everybody here at the Platformers, we love you all. Stay safe, because until next time, we are out.
Bye.